with not so good bandwidth. So
Yeah, it's not great. 1 second here. Video file. Here we go.
it's the Dallas.
What's the subject of today's show, anyways?
It's Jeff.
Speaker,
Talk
our
about.
new co-host, and that's Jeff Polo.
Well, I'll just sort of break the awkward silence there. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here. As it says, my name's Jeff Polo, located here in sunny Vancouver, along with Ian. And I'm really pleased to be here and carry on the what Brandon started and Rick continued with Brandon, and of course what Ian's building here too. I've been in the business a long time. I will admit to 30 years, and my favorite line is I entered the business at 6. I'm a lifelong car guy, and I always like to say I was born with oil in my veins. I've been through every position in variable operations, from sales through business manager, through sales manager, GSM, GM, and I certainly feel that I can bring a lot to the platform here. I've worked with dealer groups, with individual single point stores, and have a very lucky position of knowing really how the things work differently. It's fun to be here. I think Ian's a pretty cool guy, and definitely the technical brains of the operation. And I think this is a terrific platform for people from all over to get together and to just pick up on things. And the beauty I like of this platform is the fact that it's not a sales platform, which you will see in one of the slides later on. And it's a place for people who've done well at what they've done can share ideas without judgment, without anybody thinking that buy me or anything else. So frankly, I'm quite excited to be here and very much looking forward to it.
I'm in the Philadelphia region, and in the region we sold 4,600 cars in August. And then for September, we were allocated 2,400. We're in a situation where, I mean, going forward, new car businesses, even if people want the Bronco, I mean, it's just going to be tight on inventory for a while. And we've got to be proactive to figure out what we're going to do to offset that.
So do you feel like having a competitive used product, like let's say a Jeep product or another product, would help you there? I mean, what is the strategies you're considering?
I mean, this is a used car discussion, so I mean that I'll go back to used cars. I think that's where it's at. I mean, I think as a dealership, if you have a strong used car operation, you can have a strong dealership. And if you don't, I mean, you're going to lean too heavy into other departments.
I have a question for Rob. So Rob, because you guys are doing the used cars and that's the topic of today, and over the past couple of months, you had that situation where it came for online shopping or online buying. Have you seen traction with online buying for your used cars? You have?
Absolutely.
And are the customers taking it from A to Z?
Yes. We during COVID, we sold, I think when we were shut down for a month, we sold over 100 vehicles just when the customer wasn't even at the dealership. Okay. Since then, we've kind of taken more of a proactive approach to be more transparent with the customer. Once they reach out to us, once we have engagement on actually, starting the needs assessment, starting the sales process before the customer gets to the store. We're doing credit applications, we're doing trade evaluations. We try to have all that done. So when, you had mentioned, customer experience. So when they come to the dealership, it is, we can have them in and out in 30 minutes or less. So we are really just, that's on the dealership. I think, we're taking a very proactive approach to, have that customer ready. So when they come in, a test drive, make sure the vehicle is how it was described. We look at their vehicle, do the same thing, but everything else is already negotiated, completed, and it's just in and out. And it's a beautiful thing when it happens that way.
I think the definition of online buying is not so much the transaction, but more the engagement and the dialogue between the dealership or the sales associate and the customer. I think if that can connect between, you know, a sales associate or the dealership and a customer, then yeah, then I can see the transaction going from A to Z. I think the problem is the definition of online buying is you have no one to talk to and you're just clicking on everything and all of a sudden this car appears from nowhere, and that's not the case.
I was speaking, you put your hand up and said, you're looking for a new job because Honda needs some help.
Yeah, that would be, oh my gosh, what is Scott, what is Scott's last name?
Is it Monty?
Scott Monty, exactly that. My God, I can't believe. And Scott is was a brilliant marketer, way ahead of his time when he was with Scott. Yeah.
And your speech was, by the way, fantastic as well. But I thought that was it.
I appreciate that. It was not, Scott Monty was not an easy act to follow.
Yeah, I mean, he was interesting because I think he was the first Ford dealer or first manufacturer to tweet back to people.
Yeah.
Which people thought was nuts at the time.
Yeah, you know, Elon Musk gets a lot of credit for being accountable to the shareholders, and Scott was doing it a long time before. And of course, he came out with some great campaigns that were 100% digital, and they did better than the multi-million-dollar television campaigns, his digital campaigns they did. So he was way out ahead. And I remember a dear friend of mine, Sean Wolfington at the time, said, pay attention to him. Scott was there with his little bow tie and everything, but Scott was, you know, he had a lot of substance behind that bow tie.
Yeah, I remember him talking in the speech going, if someone had told me 2 years ago that I'd be working in Detroit for an automotive manufacturer, I would have said they were freaking nuts.
Yeah, and by the way, he worked with or under Alan Malawi.
Yeah,
so that crew was a pretty damn bright crew there. So he was part of a great period of time and growth for the Ford Motor Company.
Unfortunately, Mark Fields was part of that group too, and he kind of proved that quickly.
Yeah, there's a lot of bright in that room.
And maybe, Brian, you can tell us a little bit about your background for the people that don't know.
I started out in the automobile business on May the 10th, 1982. So this May, I'll be 40 years. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have my children with one wife. And I'm blessed to have my career with one organization. You know, and some might call me a tree hugger for staying in one place for so long. And I made a simple rule many years ago. The day I can't grow at Paragon is the day I'll be gone. And, you know, this industry has been changing so much over so many years. I've been blessed to be able to stay loyal to my company and to continue to grow my career. And so I'm very thankful for that.
Appreciate that.
You know, it was a great combination. It's pretty rare as a person who's loyal to the company and a company who's loyal to the person.
Yeah, it's been a wonderfully symbiotic relationship between myself and the Singer family and American Honda and Acura. You know, there's so many dynamics, and so many young people want to get into business today. They want to be on their own, and you know, I've never worked for more people than since I became a partner. You work for the, of course, your partner. You work for and with the manufacturer. You work for and with your staff. You work for and with the Attorney General. You work for and with Consumer Affairs, and you work for and with, of course, your consumers. So I'm a servant to a lot of different masters.
A quick question. I guess I'll start with Denny. What do car nuts mean to you?
So I have twin 7-year-old boys, and they are car nuts. And I didn't teach them to be car nuts. They just gravitated towards it. And so when I think about, you know, are car nuts a dying breed, or is it going to continue to live on? I genuinely believe it's going to live on. Something that I remember telling customers that I believed early on, when parents would come and buy their kids' first cars, or kids would save up their own money to buy their first car. I remember not just thinking, but believing, if you bought something that they liked, they would take care of it, versus if you just put them in something that they didn't like, they wouldn't take care of it. And that is true even today. So my 7-year-old kids can point at any vehicle on the road, tell me more about it, quite frankly, than I even know about it. My son this morning was telling me about the new electric Porsche that is coming And because I'm on YouTube, the engineering is evolving and changing, but the enthusiasm behind it is very strong and alive.
Fantastic. Chris?
Yeah. I mean, we the car nuts that we deal with, very enthusiasts, right? We have guys that will build a car to have the most power that's out there. We have guys that build cars to go on the track, and then we have guys that their dream as a kid was just to own a BMW one day. So the car nuts is to us is I think anybody that's could be a car nuts is that an enthusiast, right? Is your all your free time and all your free extra money is going to that car, whatever you own. It's kind of makes you a car nut.
Fantastic. And Sarah, what do you think? I mean, obviously, how did you become a Porsche nut? I guess would be the first thing, but maybe what's your thoughts?
I think I want to echo some of the things that they were saying. I mean, we definitely see a wide variety of people. So I think a car nut can be as simple as a small nut where you've got just maybe a love for a specific car or brand or make or whatever, versus all the way to the extent of your life is really kind of driven by a car. I want to say a montage almost. So it's a wide spectrum of people, and I think they're all car nuts in their own way, and anywhere from having a car that they bought and I don't really love the concept of a garage queen, but some people, that's their thing, is that they almost idolize something that they don't utilize. I like people more that get out and really utilize their car and really kind of identify with it and get it on the road and feel it and love it and dream it. But there's other, there's a wide spectrum of people.
You feel like you're in a luxury car, and for this kind of money it better be.
But it's not necessarily all those bells and whistles that are kind of filler.
See, I got him to stop talking there for a second. He was afraid I was going to open it wide up.
So good morning, and we're going to go through that, but that's Jeff's Lucid. If you wanted to do that, and other videos are from past shows. We'll be doing probably blooper reels and other reels soon. So we're going to do video 5. We're going to do... It's this one.
Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, depending where you're logging in. Great to be in here.
Ready, set, go!
Coming to you live, it's the Auto Hub Show with Ian and Jeff. Here we go.
Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Hi, I'm Gail Rubenstein, the founder and CEO of a company called Retail Resilient, social selling for the car industry. And we help auto dealers, auto agencies, and vendors in the auto industry sell more cars, service more cars, and make more money using our social selling strategy. That includes TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and anything else you can think of. So if you're looking to invest thousands and make millions, we're definitely the social selling company for you. Like I said, who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
I was at Larry Pullman's seminar. So happy I came, having such a good time. Thank you so much, Larry.
One of the best trainers in this area for sure. I don't know about anywhere else, but as far as I know, he's the best. So,
told you twice.
Take advantage.
Thank you for having me here.
I'm at Larry Feldman's seminar, and what I found is that what he's really good at doing with his knowledge and with his training, he's not filling a bucket, he's lighting a fire.
Ways to improve. Every month we want to improve better on what we did the month before, maybe the year before. It's about how fast we can get the cars done with quality work to get it to the front line, because that's where we make our money. And the bottom line is the longer it takes, the more money you spend. We want to get it down as low as possible. Right now, like I said, we're in a great stage. We're at 4.5 days. In recon, we want to know how quickly we can get the cars out of the recon process and to the front line. The average days in recon and then the time to line are the most important. I'm Mike Burrell in service.
All righty. Good morning and welcome. So sorry, I'm working on my laptop here, so we're going to do this on the laptop, I guess. Anyway, so a couple books on podcasting of all topics. It's our 3rd anniversary, so I thought I would put some stuff on. I know there's more people that are doing podcasting now than ever before. Podcasting for Beginners, the Value Edition. Start Podcasting and Narrow Podcasting from a marketing point of view. I don't know if I can switch that around. So, Jeff, go ahead and go to the disclaimer, and we'll go right into the show. So go ahead.
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank everybody for being here and sharing this with us. It's going to be kind of fun. And what I like about doing a live show is things happen. And that's a stronger word, but of course the disclaimer is going to come out if I were to use that word. And Brooke is here to share us with some of those colorful words. However, we do have glitches. Ian's sitting in a little dealership just outside of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, for those of you who don't know. And the challenges with bandwidth, that's you going off his phone or his laptop, but that's what makes it special. So that's good. So our disclaimer, of course, is the fact that the views and opinions shared here today are those of our guests and not necessarily that of Ian and Jeff or the Auto Hub Show. And this show today about just celebrating 3 years and tremendous number of people that we'd literally, of everybody I'm looking at that's joined us and anybody we've had, there was probably only 4 people that I knew before this. So it's a great thing. Ian.
Yeah, so I'm doing a laptop experience here at Country Hills Chrysler in the big town near Calgary. So if you're familiar with Calgary, it's truck country here. And Dave, unfortunately,
High River, Alberta.
High River. So Dave's not here today, unfortunately. So I was hoping to surprise him. I surprised his team with donuts, but it's all good. And I'm going to go see another one of our regulars on the show, Asif Premji, who's in Okotoks, Alberta. On my way back to downtown. I'm actually looking at moving to Alberta, so I'm looking at that right now. I met my grandniece yesterday, which was interesting. But go ahead, Jeff. Let's get into it.
Okay, well, you know what? Normally, as those of you here know, we send out a call flow beforehand, but we want to make this show a free-for-all. And that's why we banned Larry Feldman from being here. And we screwed up things for the airline and booked him on a flight later on instead of the 6 a.m. flight so he could join us. But actually we didn't, but we're going to miss him here. But I really wanted to thank everybody for being here. And I especially want to mention John Latka out there. I said it out there to him where he is in Halifax, Nova Scotia. They've had a hell of a time with forest fires. As we all know, there's forest fires everywhere, but it's one of the few major cities that was actually threatened by fire. So, John, thanks for being here, and I do hope things here they're settling down there. So,
yeah, the fires here have settled down too, just in Alberta, northern Alberta, I think.
Well, yeah, but they didn't threaten any cities.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know.
Not meaning to make light of it. Please forgive me. But first of all, I want to ask everybody that's joining us today. Hello to everybody. Rennie, April, my gosh, it's good to see you guys. And Gail, thank you for. I wanted to thank Gail for her support. She's been a sponsor of us since like day one. John was on our first season of sponsorships, and we greatly appreciate it. So thank you for that. But the first question I want to have for you is. What guests have we had on that really stood out for you other than yourselves? And put your hand up, put your virtual hand up, start talking. Peter, you got to wait a minute. I'm just kidding. So, April, I'll call on you.
So
you can think of?
Of course you're going to call me first. My brain juices are just starting up.
That's
it's really morning here. What are you doing to me?
Let Peter start. Peter's always got an opinion.
Well, I can tell you the guest who gave me the most information that I've ever gotten off this show is the gentleman from Chicago that has the Tesla extended warranty company.
Oh, XCare. Yep.
XCare.
Yep.
And he, even though that I'm a multiple Tesla owner, I didn't know as much
Oh, I'm losing you.
After that call, he gave me from from that brief conversation on how Teslas were manufactured and the warranties and everything else, and actually changed my perception of EV.
To what?
The bad.
It changed your perception to the bad?
Yes, it did. It actually, I actually went from believing that Tesla was a pretty good, decent car to something completely in the wrong direction. So I thank him for giving me that opportunity to learn.
Crazy. April,
Terrific.
do you have a thought now?
You know, here's the problem I have with these kind of questions. Every single person brings nuggets of value. And so I can't like pinpoint just one specific person. I didn't meet Larry Feldman before being on your show, and I will say that he is an amazing human. So whether he's here or not, I actually really appreciate the things that he brings to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Peter himself, Tim Hayden is fantastic, which getting to just some of the nuggets that people bring that make you think outside of your normal brain. I typically enjoy people who don't always agree with me. I think those are some of the best valuable conversations you can have, is getting somebody else's perception. So there's a lot of people and for a lot of reasons.
Fantastic. Brooke? I know she doesn't have an opinion.
What? I don't know what you're talking about there.
That's funny.
I actually, I'm going to kind of go what April said as well. Is there's been every time that I have been on the show, it's like you automatically like, oh my gosh, that was awesome, and you immediately you meet someone that is then going to become, I'm going to say your best friend, but it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to reach out to that person, and you make this instant friendship though, and this instant person you can reach out to for anything. And like what April said, is that I think it was the first time I was on the show that I did meet Larry, and he and I have become just best friends. And if it wasn't for this show, that would have happened. And the next time I came on the show, I was like, oh gosh, now I've got this person that I can reach out to, and I've got that person in my phone book now, that if I need something, I know I can call on that person. I have Ian and Jeff that I can now reach out to if I have a question about anything. And so with the show, there's so many great people. We've had people from Google. We've had obviously the people I've already mentioned, but to really say there's just been this amazing one-off person. Each time there's something you all bring to the table that is just like, thank you so much. And it may be, and I also will say that it might not be something that you're going to think of that are the talking heads that you see everywhere else. And I super appreciate that, because you see them on, it's not that that's bad, but there are a lot of talking heads that you see a lot of different places, and bringing on different people. You're like, man, if I hadn't been on that show, if I haven't watched that show, I would have never met that person. And that person honestly has changed my life. And so it's a lot of different people. That's my answer.
Fantastic. Renee, what do you think?
Well, I think everybody's hitting the right points. I mean, most everyone that's been on this show has brought so much value to not only your show, but to the industry. But some of the ones that kind of stick out, Brian Benstock, he's an anomaly. I mean, same company for all these years, same dealership for all these years. And I mean, heck, he's been on Fox News a few times, but he's one of the most intelligent, automotive minds in the business. And he's been on your show quite a few times. And then just, the value you guys bring, to be able to collaborate and bring all these minds together is pretty special. And to be doing it 3 years, just congratulations to you guys both.
Thanks.
I have to say
go ahead.
something on that Brian Benstock episode there. And normally we don't do a one person, one individual episode, but we were having an episode where it was going to be the OEM versus the dealer, and Brian was going to join us with a few other people, and then at the last minute had to cancel because the OEM called him to a meeting. But the best part of what he said was, we said, he asked him if he got the call flow, and he says, thanks for doing that, but I didn't open it. I don't need it. It's like talking about my kids. That's how I feel about the car industry.
Exactly.
And that was very touching. You want a tear from the corner of your eye. This business, because of this, This industry is very interesting because nobody says it's all hugs and kisses. Nobody says it's really, the car business has been very, very good to me. And you can see by the smiles, there might be some grown-ups that remember that. But it has and it hasn't. We've all got scars. We've all got things from it. We all talk. We've got people, Lord knows, we find people we like to complain about dramatically. But we're here because we want to be, because I think everybody here is smart. The vast majority of people in the car business are smart people. And we could transition to other fields very quickly. Brooke looks like she's not really sure what I said there, just with that concerned look on her face. But it gets into your blood. It gets into your soul. And then when we meet people like you, and I know from my personal standpoint, oh my golly, these guys, every one of you, as I said, I knew Gail before and knew Ian before, but just kidding. Gail's just, a light of everything. She was always a powerhouse, but I'll shut up now, Ian.
Gail, what do you think? I mean, you've obviously, thanks for the sponsorship, but what do you think about, what have you learned?
I got booted off Zoom and came back in midway through Jeff speaking. So can you back up and tell me what the original question was?
Why do we love Gail?
Wait, why do we love you?
You.
No, the question was, what guests did you get impacted by the most from the show? In your opinion? Yeah.
Ooh. That's a tough one.
Simmons moment.
I have to select one.
Yeah.
If there was one guest that you could select, what would that one guest be?
There you go.
Good. Can we get back to on that? Now I have to really think about this.
And we could jump to John or Brian. Who wants to go first? John or Brian, who's ready? You're both muted, by the way.
Well, I'll go ahead and jump in. I mean, I'm fairly new to you guys.
Yeah.
I think this is my 4th or 5th, episode that I've been a part of and talked. But and I gotta just jump on what Brooke said. I mean, it's difficult to nail down one individual directly because there's always a nugget of value or information in every one of these calls that I've been on so far. But I bet Larry Feldman, Larry quickly has become a good friend. So is Peter Smith. I go back to even Bruno Lucarelli from Traction made a comment, because to me everything's about mindset, everything that we do, and understanding mindset. And he made a comment that has stuck with me. He's like, look, every GM's got a room full of people that can provide opportunity, but they'll invite anybody right to their desk that can solve a problem. And so instantly, I mean, that's from a mindset perspective of understanding our industry and how do we continue to, help our dealers solve problems and create a better consumer experience and a better employee experience. So that mindset is important. But I would just go back to, like I said, to what Brooke said, that you guys do such a great job of bringing out an interesting mix of people and people that are passionate about this industry and care about this industry and want to drop that type of wisdom in every episode, that it's a collective from that perspective of the value people bring.
Thanks for that. Gail, are you ready? Are you ready? Go ahead.
Ready to. You guys had a dealer principal on the show that was in Naples, Florida. And I do not remember the gentleman's name, but I do remember the conversation being extremely memorable. And in terms of talking about innovation and looking outside of the box in the auto industry and looking, can you pay for a car in cryptocurrency? What type of different operations can you change in your showroom to make, to just really bring in innovation at your dealership? So it's not the same thing, and make it more, I guess, a more fun experience for the customer. And I thought that he was very memorable to me. He also was the first person that sold a car in the meta universe.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I'm picking him is because I'm really into cutting edge innovation and doing things in the marketplace that other people do not do, which is, what we pride our business on. We do something that no one else does, which is the schooling portion of social. And so say the memberships that I've built with everyone have been unreal. And to see everyone at Digital Dealer and driving sales is so much
You're
fun.
talking about
Like when
Brian Kramer.
Yeah, Brian Kramer. He was the first one to do the metaverse delivery.
Yeah,
The question I have is, has anybody else done one yet?
I don't know.
Well, now he's at cars.com, so I don't think he's doing them anymore. But
I can tell you,
Well, that's for darts,
Kevin
too.
Fry was the first to do one in crypto, though. Brian Kramer's the first to do it in metaverse, and then Kevin Fry was the first to do it in cryptocurrency.
I think people are a little scared now to do crypto because by the time they get this thing processed, they could have given away that card for free. I wanted to shift gears a little bit.
Oh no, we had John. We have to have a comment from John, man.
Oh, listen, I was kicked off Zoom for quite a while, and I just got back in myself. And
What
no,
did
Gail
you
and,
do wrong?
Gail and I weren't having coffee. It's just that we got moved off.
Yeah, we got.
It was some screech or something. Okay, go ahead.
Well, listen, the only comment I have is I'm not going to pick a favorite person that's been a guest, but I'm going to pick two of my favorite people that host the show, namely Ian and Jeff. And, you know, thank you guys again, like everybody else has said, for bringing together people that have a wealth of knowledge. And, you know, I always pick something up from somebody on the show and, you know, maybe put it to good use myself. So really appreciate you guys and the guests that you have on the show.
Thanks, John.
Well, thank you. Perhaps maybe favorite guest a little unfair because that comes from Ian and my side, because with the exception of maybe one or two shows, you've both been here for every one of them. But what's been your favorite topic that we've covered as we're moving into, you know, oh my gosh, our fourth year, and we're trying to come up with new ideas and new things and, you know, etc. What's your favorite topic been? We found that our greatest attended one was the performance car show. And I have to say is every time I see that clip that Ian showed of Sarah Porsche Parts to Carmen with the Porsches in the background on the rack, I'm either excited or I'm deeply brokenhearted seeing Porsches all come apart. But Brooke, you've been quiet for a little bit. So what type of topics do you think we've either had or we should cover?
Well, it's just to say favorite topic is going to be really difficult to narrow down because you're taking something from each and every topic. One thing that I applaud that you all champion and have as a female especially is the women in automotive ones that you all have. I'm a little biased on that one, but it's for multiple reasons, is that's just not talked about a whole lot. So I sincerely appreciate that you all have that. You just don't, it's not like, oh, look at the females. It's just that's something that without females, it's something that you're going to sell more vehicles. The gross profit is higher. And when it's not talked about, man, you're only hurting your business. So I super applaud that you all have that. Just once again, so going back to say, well, what's the favorite topic, man? It's like picking your favorite child. I mean, damn, I can't do that because it's like every topic that you all have had have been great topics. So I know you all of us have had this, Jeff and Ian and I, we've had this discussion before, like even HR, like, yeah, that is not a sexy topic at all. And from a rating standpoint, I know that that's usually going to tank, but that is such an incredible, very, very needed topic. But I also know that, like, if I do those shows, it's usually not going to probably get a whole lot of ratings, but it's a really, really important topic. So at the end of the day, just keep bringing awesome content. That's what I'm going to say to that.
Our programs have been our worst attended and viewed program.
Yep. And we've talked about this multiple times, but how important is it, man? It's so important.
Nobody cares.
Sandra Canino is getting a complex. You know, because you talk about sexy HR and she gets and does a salsa dance with, she's got a salsa partner that we have had many people go, what's his number? And they've asked for her number too, but we won't give it out. But there's so few people that are prepared to spend an hour to pick up on HR things.
Yep.
Yet there's, Peter, you might have seen this thread going, I can't remember who the person was. It's been going for 3 or 4 days now on LinkedIn about a dealer in, I don't know, somewhere. Just they're abusive of their staff. Their pay plan is horrendous. It's you know, they get $150 per car, and if they and get full price $100 bonus on all 10 cars. And it's been going on and on and on. And everybody's, all these guys are rotten and they should be hung and they should be this. But, you know, in our show side, HR, we want to do it. And it doesn't get a lot of views. Although I have to say, Ian and I have talked about this. Our goal is that the topic of women in auto is not a topic. The topic is like here now today. My gosh,
people in auto of all types. Like, why is that not? But the thing that's crazy about HR shows, and we've done many, probably more than anybody else. We've tried everything. We've tried fear tactics. We've tried, you know, your play puns suck. We've tried, you name it. But the thing that's funny about human resources shows, and probably not funny, haha, but funny. The only thing that gets you remotely interested in is the fear that maybe they'll get sued by somebody. Like, it's like they just don't care. And it's scary because it's like, why are you waiting till the lawyer shows up to be interested in this? Like, really? Like, that's
Isn't Tim Hayden a lawyer?
Huh? Is Tim Hayden a lawyer?
Tim Hayden's a lawyer, and he just appeared as you said that.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Peter's the ex-lawyer.
So, April, what do you think? Funny? Show topics.
You know, I'm so passionate about automotive as a whole. I genuinely do like all the topics. There are certain ones that fire me up more than others. Probably the one that fires me up the most is breaking down the silos. I hate the fact that whether you talk about inside the dealership walls or you talk about vendor to OEM to dealer, the fact that everything is done in this kind of fashion versus, you know, holding hand and across the board, that's probably the topics around that I get most fired up about, and therefore probably my favorite.
Yeah. Make a note of that. April endorsed. Jeff. Peter, what do you think?
April, I'll have to agree with you there. I hate the word vertical. Vertical is a challenge word for our business. It's just building barriers for every single opportunity, and when we should be looking at it as one team, one operation, one goal, one success. And it's a huge challenge, and we got to get by it.
Yeah, I think part of it is just recognizing that nobody's perfect and we all bring good ideas to the table, but I still find it's so infuriating that everything that happens is this. You know, we're always pointing the finger at somebody else rather than, you know, owning the need and just saying, hey, how can we solve problems and actually fix them? So yeah, I get super frustrated, but you guys are right about HR. It's one of the things, you know, with the FTC stuff, the HR stuff. I mean, we unfortunately live in a sue happy society, and it's sad to me, but that is absolutely true. People will go back and start watching those HR content when the lawyer shows up. They'll go back and they'll binge watch it over the weekend now because it's like, what do I got to do? What tidbits can I find?
Let me get schooled on that.
It just takes that point of, you know, hey, I've actually got a problem in store now because a lawyer's involved or because, you know, something has happened, not just because we want to be better humans and do things the right way.
Seeing as how we're on that topic, I have a question. Who here thinks is cheaper? Treating your employee well and paying them well, or paying the lawyers to defend it for not treating them well? Which is cheaper?
There you go.
Treat your people good.
Do it right the first time. It's a lot easier.
Retention is probably your biggest profit center in your dealership.
Oh, yeah. When we looked at the numbers, I think at the beginning of the show, we had one of our early HR shows. It was something like 90% of women leave car dealerships who are employed temporarily. And we were like, why is that not talked about every day? Like, what are you doing? 90% fail.
Ian, when I worked in retail, I was one of the only women that made it to the top, and everyone else like left.
Yeah.
Like do or die, sink or swim, perform better than everyone else. And so I did it, but I did it at the expense of my personal life. So there was no personal life, but I did it. So, you know, that's why women leave. They're like, this is crazy.
But you know something? That's why, and I hate to say it, it's not women. That's why people leave. And one thing that we do, the I changed my life in the car business, is people celebrate sacrifice in this business. We celebrate the fact that, guess what? We stayed till midnight and we did a deal. We did a flat minimal loss deal on that Hyundai, April, on the, oh my God, what's the lowest end Hyundai? I can't, all of a sudden,
Accent?
Accent, manual transmission, no air conditioning, crank windows that showed up by accident. And I got a whopping mini with a $50 bonus.
But
And by the way,
essentially,
I missed
though,
my
Jeff,
kids,
though, there's an
for one.
example of a great work-life balance. VidCalls is signing up a new dealer in Montreal, and I was going to do the onboarding on Friday. They work Monday to Friday. They sell just as many cars as dealers throughout North America. They do all their deliveries on Friday. They are not open on weekends, full stop, in 2023.
Dealer, that's in the province of Quebec.
Yeah,
isn't
so
it?
you have to speak French, but the good news is you're working Monday to Friday.
Tried to open Saturday. Had
Nope.
all their windows broken.
No Saturday, no Sunday. We don't care. Come back on Monday.
Yeah, I used to deal with a dealer in Montreal that they worked from 8 a.m. to 4:30, and on Fridays they closed at 2. And they set everything by appointment. When I worked in Europe, it was 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, no weekends. It's only North America that we've gotten to this mentality of the fear of loss, that we will not shut our doors because we might make $100 on someone walking through the door.
And Peter, to go off of that as well, is that not only that, is that this fear of not taking vacation. I mean, how many of us on here, do we take vacation? Probably not. And then you go anywhere else outside of America, and it's not only do you take vacation, it's mandated to take vacation. And it's not, oh, you've been here 20 years, you know what, you get a week vacation. What the hell? Are you serious right now? No,
By the way, keep your phone on.
Yeah. By the way, and I have actually spoken with numerous people that are in very large companies that I will not name, that it is mandated that when you go on vacation, that you must keep your phone on. And if a client reaches out to you, you must work. You must answer all phone calls. I'm like, well, are you kidding me? So you can have an unlimited PTO, but you must answer all phone calls, all emails. No, that is so insanely unhealthy. Like, if anything, you should delete that freaking app that's your Gmail, Outlook, delete it and get away. Because now you're encouraging your employees to be like, hey, come back refreshed. Come back refreshed so you want to work and earn money, and that money, whatever it represents to them, whether that's, as we all know, I'm a Jordan fanatic, that represents more J's for me. Maybe it represents more vacation time. Maybe it represents more time with your family. Maybe it represents more time to be with an ailing parent, whatever it may be, but let them have that time and provide that time to do whatever it is so they can come back and sell more or do whatever they're doing. But whatever this is, to burn out, and then this rise and grind mentality that, hey, I'm up at 4 a.m. and I'm going to work until midnight. Like, no, why do we keep perpetuating this? Yeah, it's a really hot button.
Well, buddy of mine he lived in Amsterdam for 15 years, and he had 5 weeks vacation. So when he moved back to North America with his wife, who's from Eastern Europe, he was all upset that he only got 3 weeks. I'm like, 5 weeks? Really, dude?
Yeah.
I try to buy a car in Paris in August.
Well, as the car girl here, I will tell you, I get 1 week a year.
1 week?
I do get one week of vacation a year. I will say they're pretty good about letting me unplug for that week. But that is one thing. They're like, yeah, go ahead and turn off all the phone and the different things. But it is kind of the wild, wild west here in Phoenix. The mentality here is 1,000 million %. Work harder, not smarter. I mean, it's just crazy to me. We still work super late, especially in the summertime. We had about a decade ago, the dealerships decided cumulatively to close on Sunday. One opened, and that was it. So we were closed one Sunday ever. So now we're back to 7 days a week, and we don't close till 9 p.m. here. And that 9 p.m. in the summertime is typically 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. So that is that old school mentality that we we kind of laugh about. That's still
Yeah, exactly.
How
So
many people
Renee,
thought
John,
COVID
or
would change
Tim, any
everything?
comments on show topics?
Show topics. I mean, everything you just said falls right in the category of, as April was saying, here in North America, living at the top of the funnel, just only living in the top of the funnel, not understanding that people who bought from you in the past may buy from you again. You know, we just had last week, we were talking to a large dealer group in Florida about a customer data platform. Again, what we do, right? And as we're talking to them, they started asking us about third-party data. Where can we buy third-party data? Where can we buy lists? And I told them, guys, this is what we're here for, is to help you understand all the data you have today will help you in the future. You can dig it right here. And I think what I tuned in right as April was talking about silos, right? Is because the customer is touching 5 or 6 different people across the dealership, but nobody in the dealership knows that because they're not sharing the data because they've got silos between each other. So the jam here is that everyone is staying open till 9 o'clock, and everyone is doing what they're doing because they think it's always going to be something that falls in the top of the funnel because of something Google redirected or remarketed for them, or that they just happen to be open long enough for somebody to drive by and walk in. When in fact, the information is right there. It's just right there. Who do you call so you can close at 5? So you don't have to work on Saturday or Sunday. I mean, that's the jam. That is the jam.
Fantastic. Renee, what do you think?
Well, I mean, you know, there's so many topics that we can all, you know, always bring to the table and talk about. You know, there's not just one that stands out or I think we should, you know, make a point to always discuss, but, you know, just being better stewards of, you know, the people we do business with and our customers and, you know, the employees. I think that's always top of mind for me. The stores that I've always ran, you know, I could open up a dealership tomorrow and staff it probably 100%, just because the people, I've always treated people right. And when you treat people right, they'll follow you. They'll follow you anywhere. You know, you tell them to run through the wall, they'll do it. You know, I think just having more topics about, you know, taking care of our, you know, our, not only just the customers, that's always important, but, you know, the people that are doing all the hard work for you. So, and that's where that's where I would, you know, you know, go with the, you know, as far as having, you know, more additional conversations. You know, I had friends of mine that just recently relocated to run a couple stores, and they got there and bought a house, and, you know, a couple of days later they were let go. You know, you know, and some people say, well, it's a tough business. Well, it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be a tough business if you treat people right. So,
you know, that I have to say that I listened to that and I got a lump in my, not a lump in my throat. I almost, I don't know what it is. How do you relocate somebody? And then, you know, it was almost like they waited till they bought a house before they cut their neck off. And you're right.
Hey Jeff, like Renee, I know those people as well. I've talked to them many times. And I will go back to the topic that I would say in this business is we run multi-million-dollar operations. Some businesses are bumping into the billions, but we operate it as the car lot, not the car business. And we look at a 30-day window. We look at we're just so backwards in how we anticipate how the operation of the business should be. And like Renee said about those two individuals, they basically changed their lives because the individual said, hey, we're going to do this. And then when they came in, it became completely different. And I'm almost going to say everyone on this that in some kind of, you know what, we got this job for you, and you show up and the job is a completely different opportunity. And it's shocking, and I don't know how that has to be curbed, but we have to turn around and change it from the car lot to the car business and focus on the business.
100%. 100%. I mean, it's
very
funny.
true. Most of these
Go ahead,
people,
Jeff.
these dealers, most of these dealers that do this, if you ask them, they remember, and I know a few like this, they remember back when they started, back when they had to go in at 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night after the staff left, when they left at 8 and turn off lights to save that extra $45 a month. And their mindset is still the same, even though, you know, there was one dealer here, very famous, had 12 or 13 dealerships. And he still operated like he had a little car lot. And he would yell at his managers for not doing a full page newspaper ad, but he'd also yell at them when they found out that there was lights left on at night when they drove by the lot. So it is a mindset. It's going from the car lot to the car business. I love that.
It's that, but I also think at the core of it, it's that we need to treat people the way we wish we were treated and not necessarily the way that we were. And there's this, like, I've earned this right now as the boss to treat people the way I was treated. And that's where the mentality needs to change. It has to change for the people that are promoting to those top positions, to not look at it as a badge of, I get to now be that person. But to rather look backwards and say, I didn't like how I was treated, so I get to change the narrative now, and that's awesome.
Oh, 100%.
April, I'll second that 100%, because especially like got some awesome females on this panel. And I think we've had a panel where we were all on together, and I believe all three of us, when we got in the industry, we were the only females in the industry where we were. And if we look back and be like, well, you know what, you just got to figure it out because we figured it out. Well, no. And the same thing going up top, as whatever you are, wherever your position is. If you just say, you know what, well, I had to go through all this shit, so you're going to have to go through it as well, like a hazing mentality. No. We want to make it, I would hope, and I believe everyone on this panel would believe the same thing, is that we want to make it better for the next generation and for those coming up. So let me help mentor you. Let me show you the ropes. Not just, I'm just going to throw you in the deep end. There's a computer over there. Just go take some tests and figure it out on yourself, for yourself. No, let me show you how to do this. Everybody learns a little bit differently. So let me show you how to do this in whatever way works best for you, versus just, well, I had to go through some really, really bad times and got my teeth kicked in. And so you're going to have to go through the same thing. Well, there are better ways to do that. I 100% agree with you.
So you got some VHS tapes in the back you got to watch?
That's how I was thrown into the business 30 years ago. And it's unfortunate that we're still doing it today.
Hey, we don't realize this, but we created Chat GTP or GP, whatever it is. We created AI training. We said when Rennie and I and John and Peter got into this, okay, go over there. There's some tapes. You listen to those, and here's your list of cars. The keys are over there. By the way, there's an up. Go sell them, and you better.
We got some VHS tapes from the 80s. Why don't you start with those?
Yeah.
Dust them off a little bit. Dust them off a little bit.
Okay, I just want to bring Tim into this for a second, because Tim will come in and agree 100% with what I'm going to say.
Maybe.
We focus so much on the bottom opportunities, the internet lead, the phone call lead, and the walk-on lead. Those are the ones we're excited about. That's what we're chasing. When we have thousands of people that are in our data that we don't know about that are there to buy. And Tim's solution makes it so much easier and it comes down to what April says, retention. We don't focus on retention. That's just the side of the things. Then let's look at the employee retention. The employee retention, if we turn around and do the right job, then we don't pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to replace them every year. And it's asinine. And we have to start focusing on doing a better job.
Yeah. I can jump in for a minute to add to that, Peter. businesses, if you how the hell are you going to retain
Right.
customers?
Right.
But you know, it's awfully funny too, to support that position and Tim's position from the same person. Probably the worst human being I ever met in the car business. His name is, this person was brilliant. He said, if you want to increase your lot traffic, you want to increase your leads, start counting and looking at what you have. Don't go get more. He's also
Right.
the same person that said in a beautiful accent, which I won't, which says, this is how to do it. If you don't like it, we're happy to give you a reference for your next job. Something's
Yeah.
wrong there. When there's brilliance, brilliance. This guy was brilliant. And there's a total lack of care, and he was not a principal. He had no dollars in the game. That's the problem with our industry is the people.
Well, yeah,
Totally.
get better. Get
Totally.
better. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, I just was going to say it's a story I've shared with a couple of people, but while I've been going through physical therapy with my knee, especially when I had crutches, I did a lot of Ubering. I wasn't driving, I wasn't riding the train, but I had an Uber driver about a month and a half ago who I don't know how we started talking about it, but he worked for Don Davis and Moritz in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for a while. And he started telling me the story about when he started asking them, how do I do my job? And they sent him over to someone at the Sewell, one of the Sewell lots. And it came down to the person they sent him to, showed him a system of using 3x5 note cards and writing down things about everyone that they talked to, whether they sold a car to him or not, their children's names. Did their children play sports? Other things. Where did they work? Those kinds of things, and leaving them in that 3x5, a little file, a little plastic box that you can keep the note cards in, and then from there, calling people out of the blue and saying, "Hey, does Billy still play baseball?" Right? Does having human conversations with people, not just calling them up, not just outsourcing it to a BDC and saying, call these people when they have 6 weeks left before their lease matures, right? Not just that, but actually building that relationship, and everything you guys are talking about here and everything Peter just said. I mean, that's what has been missing from the car business from most lots. There are some lots that do this pretty well, but there are very few of them. They're the 1%ers. But from most of the car business, they don't care about the customer. They care about the conversion only. They only care about selling and selling more. They don't really care about the relationship. And that's the thing that I think what's funny about the note card thing is that's what technology can do for you today, is it can help you capture all the information on that one customer and sell it from F&I, from sales to F&I over to fixed ops. So anytime anybody's talking to the customer, they have empathy with them.
100%. Jeff, just so you know, we got about 7 minutes left. So go ahead. No, oh no, Mr. Bill. Go ahead.
This out to you and turn it to a gooder side.
A gooder side.
A gooder side. In the end, we'll do our feelings. But I want to ask you what you think we should be doing moving on. And we didn't do this show just so you can tell us what to do because we're running out of ideas, because we got ideas. But where do you think we should take this from here? We're very proud of the fact that we believe we're different than a lot of our beloved colleagues, to be honest with you. I mean, Brooke, you got a podcast, and our Fred and Lou and
John,
and Fix Up Mastermind, and all these other people. We like to think we're different because we try to make it about this collection of people that are on there. But where would you like to see our direction go from here? Yes, we're not going to dance, thank God. And let's see here. Let's go Gail first because she's got a lot invested in us.
Yeah, she's got the TikTok skills, I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where should the Auto Hub show go from here? I think keep your core focus of what you've been doing. The show obviously is going to grow. For being guest to the show, I have not been sitting on the show this year. And actually my team yelled at me last week. They're like, why are you never sitting on Auto Hub show anymore? And yes, unfortunately I hurt myself and I've been doing healing work, but I think keep going with like the core of what you do and bringing the dealers on board and having these conversations and putting it on LinkedIn and putting it on Facebook. And I think you guys should keep showing up at the shows like the digital dealers and the driving sales. And I think stand your ground in what you believe in and how you want to help the industry. Like, I think the most important thing Auto Hub show could do is like stand your ground and be you, like be authentically you guys and do your thing. I don't know. I think just keep going. Just don't give up and keep going.
Thanks for that. Oh, we will be at NIADA Live, just so you know, Vegas next month. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, even though I'm going to be a day later than I thought it would be. But April.
You know, if I could just say ditto to Gail, because that was so perfectly said. And I genuinely appreciate coming on and having these conversations. I think the thing about yours I like the most is having multiple people, you get a lot of different perspectives. So one of the ways to break down those silos is to understand other people who are in a different area than yourself. So I absolutely love that.
Maybe we should have a show of employers versus HR people.
I like that.
I'll put to Rennie next. And Rennie, we wanted to thank you too for helping us jumpstart our show and conference thing by your fantastic booth at the Poly booth there. And so what's your thoughts?
I think we should. You guys should have an in-person show there in Canada and bring us up there and show us around. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's what you guys are doing is great. Just the awareness that you guys bring. Again, everything we've been talking about, the content that you guys talk about. Sometimes always not as the most sexy like the HR content, but it's all important. And it's always important to always be learning and growing in this business. I'm 30 plus years in the business and I always want to learn something new and then grow internally myself. So just again, keep doing what you're doing. Love the show and love supporting you guys.
Thank you.
John.
Maybe, yeah, what you guys have been doing so far is great. I agree with everybody that's commented on that. Perhaps at some point you might consider if others would be willing to get involved, is perhaps bring some examples, some case studies. We've talked in generalities about how to improve this or how to change that, but can we bring forward an actual case study or two or three, depending on whether it's HR, whether it's developing salespeople, some case studies that prove that if you do this, here's what can happen.
Good idea, for sure. I mean, we're always happy to post case studies. So if you have some, happy to do it.
Keeping the privacy of the dealer or the person, of course.
Yeah, so it's the secret case study. I get it. Jeff?
The secret case study. The secret case study.
Not to be disclosed until a future date.
Let's see. Tim.
I mean, as everyone said, ain't nothing broke, nothing to fix. I do believe that. I think you guys. Well, seriously, I do think that the shows where you have dealer representation, they get a little spicier sometimes. And the way you guys ask the big questions, right? I mean, you're looking at different vantage points of the industry. You're looking at things that are headlines in Bloomberg or the Wall Street Journal that a lot of dealers probably haven't seen, right? And you're asking everyone to discuss that. I would say keep that up, and and continue to do when you take it on the road. I would say find more partners. and or in some markets, because I think a lot of people that get exposed to your show many times after the fact, because you record it and share it, I think they want a piece of it. They want more of it for sure.
Oh, I think we need an autohub.com.
You do.
Yeah. Well, we are looking for new sponsors for next year, so we're always all ears. We're going to be selling that soon.
We tried to reach out to
let's talk.
a
Yeah.
big mega dealer up here with a mega corporation thing, but they didn't want to pay for it. Wanted a $500,000 travel budget and their Falcon jet, but they couldn't do it. Truck.
I know we're up against the clock, so I'm just going to keep it really simple. It's been kind of said, but just stay true to you as always. And it's just constantly thinking of, hey, the market is always changing. Our industry is always changing. So just trying as much as possible to stay ahead of the curve, staying current. What are those topics? And whether the topic is sexy or not sexy, just stay true to you. Yes, our live stream is important, and not just live stream, but going to live events is important. Yes, they are. But also knowing, are we staying true to us? And as it said before, yeah, obviously you guys know I'm very big on facts, not feelings. You guys know I'm very big on that and bringing that portion to it. So what everybody has said, I don't think that anything else can be said more than what has been said. So I know we're up against the clock, so just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. And last but definitely not least, one of our biggest fans, well, now it's been, over 6 to 8 months now, Peter, your thoughts. And I wanted to tell you, thank you so much for everything, because, man, you've been a great source of enjoyment and thought processes for me personally, as well as the show. We've had many conversations and back and forth, online conversations, and buddy, you're just a deep wealth of knowledge and a little bit of hatred for EVs. But your comments.
Well,
wow.
First, I'm gonna say I don't have a hatred of EVs. I just don't think we're there yet. That's it. What I love about this show and why I choose to be such an advocate is the visibility that this show brings to the automobile industry. You're focused on multiple topics. You have incredible guests, various opinions. It allows us to debate clearly what is facing us out there today. And that's the only way we get better, is through progressive, intelligent debate. And you've brought it to the forefront, and I appreciate it tremendously. And I appreciate you allowing me to be on the show as much as you do, and all the people that we've met together over the time period. So it's fantastic. I looking forward. You're just doing a great job. So I appreciate it.
Thanks for that. We didn't pay for that endorsement, by the way, just Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff. Final words.
Hey, we need a link that scrolls along the bottom of the screen here. Let's see here. What should I go? Which says, please donate to the Ian and Jeff Travel Fund. So they can attend more and more and more and more and more and more things. It's been a slice, guys. It's so much fun. The people I've met, and I've mentioned it a few times, but the width and breadth of what we think we've done, I can sum up into this as NADA last year, and I'm walking down the hall, running to another interview, because of course the one in Vegas was like, a mile apart each hall, and I'm running over to one. I'm late, and I hear this woman go, Jeff, and I turn and look, and there's this 6 foot tall, very, very attractive woman. And at first I thought, of course, I'm used to this. Just but this was Sopo Choiza, who is Impel, which before was Spin Car, which before was something. She's from Tbilisi, Georgia, the country. I have to say that to Americans, us Canadians, to understand that. But we only met her online, only met her about this big of a, this head in the screen. And she calls me out, and I met this person from the other side of the world that I had zero chance to meet. Has nothing else to do with her being a lady, with being anything else, but just sums up into that. All these people that I didn't know 3 years ago, I now know. Actually, John and I had talked years ago, etc. But holy cow, and people we call friends today. And we personally, it's fun and a little bit. That's our intention to get that. We just need a big sponsor for AutoHubCon, and you'll put it like Banff or something. Let's make things really, really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And hard to get to, right?
And hard to get to.
And one thing we have to remind everybody: being in Western Canada, we don't count to anybody but the 4 Western provinces.
Yeah.
Because in Toronto, the world stops there. Nothing goes west, and probably doesn't go further east than Quebec either, John. So. But anyway, thank you. I got a whole list of notes here, and you're going to see all these ideas come up soon. Ian, I'm going to leave it to you because you're the oldest member of the show. So,
special thank you to the 2 founders of the Auto Hub Show that founded it over 3 years ago, Brandon and Rick from CDK Global. Special thanks to Jeff for taking on the challenge when he didn't know what he was taking it on. And we also special thank you to our sponsors, our guests, listeners, and everybody else. We're looking forward to year 4. Stay tuned for more content. We're going to do a show on chatbots soon. So if you're interested in chatbots, that's going to be an interesting battle. We're working on that now, and we'll be at NIADA, and we'll be armed with free shirts to celebrate our 3rd anniversary. So if you are going to be there, they're in a new color, and we will have hats to a limited degree. So if you wanted a stylish hat, let us know. And of course, they are available on our website. So if you wanted to buy that way, you could. Just reach out. Have yourself a great day. Thanks for the support.
Happy anniversary, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy anniversary.
Exactly.